friends, welcome back. Today we're going to talk about all of the thrillers and horror movies and TV shows that are coming to VOD this month, which is video on demand. All the streaming services, I'll tell you where to watch them. Of course, you want to double check your equivalent streaming platforms in your country. Today's video is brought to you by my patrons. Thank you so much. If you're a patron of my channel, you're truly keeping me afloat here. I just put out a spoiler video getting into my theories and my thoughts. I did another come with me basically for Beau is Afraid, where I got into all of the spoiler chats. It's a chit chat, it's a rant, it's a rave. If you want to check it out and check out my Patreon and everything I offer, the link is down in the description below. I really appreciate everyone who supports my channel. But let's get into May, and as always, I've pinned all of these films and TV shows down below, set out by date of release, so I hope that helps. It's May. It's gonna be... I can't even say it. It's May and let's get started. Indie horror, I'll be watching hits VOD this month. The movie follows a woman and her tech-savvy husband who move to the countryside after her sister's murder. Here, the husband installs a security system that he created to give her peace of mind. But when he leaves on a work trip, the woman is accidentally trapped inside and believes that the killer may be in the house with her, the same killer that ended her sister's life. With the fitting tagline, "The truth will surface," psychological drama thriller Silo follows a population that live underneath a giant silo underground with regulations that they believe are in place in order to protect them from the toxic world on the surface. This series stars Rebecca Ferguson, who also is an executive producer on the show. It's based on the successful sci-fi book series by Hugh Howey. Let me know if any of you have read this book series and what you thought. Will you be interested in seeing this adaptation? Also, this adaptation was previously called Wool, if you've heard of it before. Next, horror westerns are hard to come by, but this month we're getting The Oregon Trail. The story of Abigail Archer, who, alone in the Montana winter during the 1870s, battles to retrieve her one earthly possession, a family horse, from a gang of bloodthirsty bandits. Strangest tie-in yet, this one is directed by Michael Patrick Jan, who has an immense catalogue, including Drop Dead Gorgeous. He's worked on a lot of TV over the last 2 decades, so I'm interested to see what he can do with a feature film horror. And not just any horror, a yeehaw. Fuck, I'm so sorry. A Western horror. This one hit limited cinemas in April and will be available on digital from the 12th. The Five Devils had its world premiere at Cannes on the 23rd of May in 2022, where it received a 5-minute standing ovation. And there's no question that this is a truly unique film. The French fantasy thriller follows Vicky, who has a supernatural gift connected to her sense of smell. Yes, sense of smell. But when Vicky's aunt Julia arrives after being released from prison, her presence brings back the past in a violent and magical way. The film had a limited theatrical release in March, but will be exclusively released on the movie streaming platform from the 12th. This next one, wow, if I would have been told like a year ago, I don't know, a few days ago, that J-Lo would be making one of these lists in 2023, I wouldn't have believed you, but here we are. Action thriller The Mother hits Netflix this month. It's directed by New Zealand director Nikki Caro, who did Mulan, The Zookeeper's Wife, and Whale Rider. The film stars, of course, J-Lo, who is a woman fleeing from dangerous assailants who she must outsmart in order to protect her daughter, who she left behind years ago. And the cat and mouse game is bound to be brutal with an R rating. This one hits Netflix on the 12th. Fear the Walking Dead started in 2015. This blows my mind, but here we are at season 8, which starts on the 14th of May. Of course, this is a spin-off from The Walking Dead, and this one is set in LA, where we follow 2 families that must band together to survive the undead apocalypse. Well, that's where the series started, but here we are in season 8. This next mystery thriller, get ready for it, was called Pure Weirdo Magic. Donnie Darko meets Twin Peaks. This was claimed by Film Threat, and that's a pretty big statement to me. Giving Birth to a Butterfly is for those who like anxiety-fueled thrillers, as we follow a woman and her son's girlfriend who take a surreal journey to attempt to find the person who's stolen the woman's identity. The film was first shown at the Fantasia International Film Festival in 2021, so it's been a long journey for the surrealist thriller. The film will have a limited theater release early May, and then will go to Fandor, the streaming service, and other possible VOD platforms on the 16th. I'm really hoping we get it in Australia too, because this looks very interesting. Spanish Netflix series Muted is a psychological thriller that attempts to unravel the mystery behind Sergio, a man who hasn't spoken a word since the day he murdered his parents. Yes, now 6 years later, a teen girl arrives and she may hold the key to unraveling the whole story. This one will be available in most countries on Netflix from the 19th. The Clearing is finally coming to Disney Plus this month. The Australian mystery thriller series follows a woman forced to confront the nightmares of her past in order to stop a cult from hurting other children to fulfill their master plan. The miniseries stars Teresa Palmer and Guy Pearce. It's based on the best-selling book of the same name, but honestly, anything about cults, I'm there. Let me know if you read this book as well. I would love to hear your thoughts, and hopefully it measures up to your expectations. Prime introduces their new limited series this month known as De Groef, which I definitely pronounced incorrectly, but it's also known as The Griffin. The German fantasy horror follows three outsiders, Mark, Memo, and Becky, who come into contact with a fantastic world called the Black Tower. These CGI visuals look impressive, but overall, even the reality aspects look stunning. The teaser for this one is so convincing. I mean, the title says it all. Influencer follows the struggle of solo backpacker Madison, who meets CW, who takes her under her wing and helps her feel comfortable in a foreign country. But it's not long before CW's behavior becomes concerning. This is directed by Curtis David Harder of Spiral, and don't worry, it's not that one, it's the one from 2019. But myself, I do worry that these influencer stories are becoming a bit one-sided and redundant, but I'm interested to see what happens with this one and the backpacker angle. And of course, I wanted to mention some quick Shudder editions, which haven't been to all countries yet, but are getting wider releases this month, so it's becoming more accessible to all of us. First being Peruvian-Mexican collaboration The Bone Woman, which is the story of a pregnant woman who, during one of the most exciting times of her life, finds herself feeling conflicted from the inside out as a supernatural threat lingers. And then of course Consecration, which is hitting Shudder this month in most countries. The movie follows Grace, played by Jenna Malone, who goes to Scotland to find out what really happened to her brother, who she learns has passed away. Her investigation leads her to a nunnery that's full of secrets and sacrilege. I'm gonna be honest, I already saw this one. I reviewed it on my Patreon a couple months ago. I was not really a fan, but I really hope some of you like it more than I did, because Jenna Malone, hello. And also in a religious setting, love that. It was just unfortunate I did not really like this movie. I'm not gonna lie, this month was a little bit softer with the horror releases on VOD. We're going more into the thriller, psychological element and mystery, but I enjoy that kind of content, so I'm all in. Let me know what you're gonna watch down below in the comments. I just would love to gauge what you're interested in. And thank you all so much for your support, and I'll talk to you soon. Stay safe and stay spooky. Bye, friends.